We've seen some companies issue notices to their clients that VAT, in fact, will have to be factored in their next bill, Prof. So what does that mean if we're still sitting in a process that needs to be negotiated and then the budget finalized?
Well, so first of all, there's the strategic issue as to whether or not an increase in VAT is a good idea. Certainly, in my view, it's a very poor idea at this point, because what we do with each of the various tax bases is the tax levels at which they're at, the rates that we have at this point, can be stressing that particular tax base such that you actually get less revenue at the end of the day. So if you have this VAT increase, some people will pay it, others may not. And you don't want to introduce incentives for people to begin to evade and avoid the current tax regime. So this is a risk on the one hand. On the other hand, the people that can't avoid paying it are going to face a cost of living impact. And VAT is a very poor way of actually raising additional revenue for government, not just because of the distributional problems, in other words, poor people pay more, but also because it acts on the price system within the economy. So it has complex effects on the cost of goods and services, depending on who's ultimately paying the final VAT. And in many cases, you're going to have people buying goods, paying the VAT, but there's still inputs into their product, which it shouldn't be. But that's what will happen. And so those can have complex effects on the final prices. So you could have a much higher increase in prices through a VAT increase than you intend. So all of these are reasons why you try to avoid complicating your tax-based issues with tax increases if you can avoid them. These are absolute last resorts.